All right, let's get started. So last week we talked about shades of skin and what it means to have hyperpigmentation, right? This is a difficult topic for a lot of people. One, because they've already tried a lot of things, they start to see it every day on their skin and they don't know what to do. And there are some products on the market that people may have already tried and that's not worked for them, and they don't know how to deal with that either. And so we thought, with the information we have, with our learnings, with the research that we've conducted, to explore what are some of the deeper causes of hyperpigmentation and what are some techniques available today. What is cutting edge? How do you solve for this skin discoloration, which on the surface is psychologically debilitating, but there can be something happening on the inside as well that shows up on your skin as hyperpigmentation or any sort of discoloration, really. So let's get started. We will cover the basics of skin today because you have to understand what skin actually is and does. So with skin, you have multiple layers. You've heard about different things about, oh, how deep do extracts actually go into your skin and so on. So it's important to understand what each of these mean, and especially for skin discoloration, what does it mean to be on the surface versus go deeper, whether you want to use a physical method or a chemical method. So it's very important to understand that. Then we'll talk a little bit about melanin and how it forms, because this is really what you're seeing as skin discoloration. Parts of melanin getting accumulated in different parts of your skin. In terms of root causes, there can be multiple reasons. It can range anywhere from spending too much time in the sun to having hormonal imbalances, and in dietary changes and so on. And there's of course genetics and hyperpigmentation that kind of play a very big role in this particular strategy that we might want to use to target treatments. So to talk about all of this, something that I'd like to preface all of this by saying, one, I've had a tremendous amount of experience, one on myself, basically where I come from, but also more importantly, I have a PhD in bioengineering where I worked on DNA and proteins to really understand what's going on inside your body and how does it manifest in your everyday life. What are some of these lifestyle changes that you could make to really understand what's going on inside your body, and how important skin is to help you understand some of these concerns. So the first thing to note is skin discoloration or hyperpigmentation can really affect anyone, regardless of skin color, right? It is not just about a particular skin tone that is susceptible to hyperpigmentation. It comes down to the different types of melanin that each of us have in our skin to cause this discoloration or hyperpigmentation. In order to understand that, we also have to think a little bit about what are the different layers of skin. Today, you have the topmost layer, which is the epidermis. And then below the epidermis is the dermis, and then the hypodermis, and then the muscle, right? So all of these different layers get their nutrition from blood. So there's a blood that's flowing through, bringing in nutrition, removing all the waste products. And so your blood really has a lot of the information about what is going into your skin and what is coming out of it. So in order to really understand what each of these layers look like and why they're doing what they're doing, all of those answers can really be found in blood. And it's very important to remember this order. Epidermis is the topmost layer of your skin. Below that is the dermal layer, and below that is the hypodermal layer before you start hitting muscle. So let's watch a short video that'll take you through what melanin is and how it's formed and what happens with skin. So this is the topmost layer of the skin that you're watching. And as I mentioned, there's oil glands and sweat glands and your hypodermis. All of that is really impacting what is showing up on your skin in the epidermal layer. They're all friends of your epidermis, right? And everything that you're seeing is happening in the epidermis, which again has two different types of cells. You have the keratinocytes and you have the melanocytes. Now, keratinocytes is like the thick protective layer of skin on top, and melanocytes are these star-shaped cells that actually make melanin in them. Now, melanin basically is formed in these melanocytes, and they travel from the melanosome where it's created, as you see here, with they are individual cells that have the proteins, mainly the protein tyrosine, that's converted to melanin. Now, these melanosomes are really important for your body, and they create different colors of melanin, going all the way from really light to really dark pigment. And so this is important based really on your genetics, right, on your DNA. So these melanosomes will travel through the star-shaped melanocyte into the nucleus of the keratinocyte, right? It goes and attaches itself to the top layer of your skin. This is why the top layer, when you've spent too much time in the sun, you'll start to see this is basically what's happening, right? The UV rays hit, and your DNA gets the signal that, hey, there is UV being absorbed by my body. And so it tells the proteins to go talk to the melanocytes to create more melanin. And based on how long you're in the sun, your body creates that much melanin, which is actually trying to protect your body. So depending on how long you've spent time in the sun, and given what your genetics say about your skin tone, you could go all the way from being burnt because your body doesn't have the ability to produce that really dark melanin that is needed to protect, versus a more darker skin, which is being produced because of the melanin in your body. So it's very important to understand where genetics play a role, where sun exposure plays a role, and where your internal sort of lifestyle and nutrition and stressors are playing a role in your overall skin color, but also in discoloration. Now, we talked a little bit about genetics, and to not belabor the point, but here really tyrosine is something that gets converted to melanin, and it's not an easy process, right? There's lots of proteins involved to really take that protein molecule, tyrosine, into melanin, and your DNA and your proteins are all working in real time to understand, okay, how much sun is this person seeing? What are they eating? And are they metabolizing all the sugar that they're eating? So all of these are factors where different hormones and proteins and enzymes are all working together to create that balance in your body, where you have tyrosine being converted to melanin. So there's a total of 1,500 gene products that are doing the job here, gene products or proteins that are expressed in the melanosomes that we talked about. There's about 600 of them being made at any given point, and 100 of these are unique to the melanosome. These 100 are not found anywhere else in your body except in the melanosome within the melanocytes, to create more melanin. So this is, again, an important point to know, to understand what could be some of the signals that's converting melanin, that's converting tyrosine to melanin. Now, as I mentioned, there can be multiple ways, multiple reasons why you see hyperpigmentation. And how do they manifest on your skin? They could be spots, they could be melasma, it could just be pigmentation. And each of these have a different underlying cause and a different protein that's causing these marks to show up on your skin. This is why it becomes so important to understand what's happening inside in your body before you start treating the outside. So this is why a test that involves your blood is so important, to really understand, okay, which one of these is really the cause of hyperpigmentation for me or discoloration for me, and how do I go about treating that for myself. So when we talk about treatment options for skin discoloration or hyperpigmentation, there's a lot going on in the market, right? There's everything from OTC creams to like DIY masks to Korean skincare to French skincare to American skincare, including your basic sunscreen, which you absolutely need to use. So we have compiled 9 of these treatment options that really are what you would find when you look for skin discoloration treatments. And we have tried to address what it is that they do for you. So, for example, the first one that you might come across when you think about the skin discoloration is face acids, right? There's so many acids on the market today, whether it is your AHAs like glycolic or lactic acid, there's salicylic acid, there's even vitamin C, which is a form of ascorbic acid. Now, what it does is if you have really mild hyperpigmentation, mild discoloration, this is certainly the way to go, right? It heals, it kind of pretty much removes the top layer, dissolves the top layer of your skin, and your skin starts to look lighter. Now, this works really well on fairer skin tones. Not on darker skin tones, this might take longer because the amount of melanin there is much more, or in some cases, it may not even work because what essentially ends up happening is people use these acids, they see that there isn't much of an impact at low doses, and they keep upping the dose and in effect end up destroying their skin, really. So it's very important to understand what skin tone does this work for, and face acids work really well on skin tones 1 through 3, not so much for 4, 5, and 6 on the Fitzpatrick scale. Now, the second one that's it's an interesting keyword that showed up when I was doing research, which is retinoids. Now, retinoids really is, while it's sometimes OTC products sell it for skin discoloration or hyperpigmentation, it's usually for wrinkles because it's improving your skin cell turnover. So in some cases, it could help reduce melanin because you're getting new cells that may not have had time to make that much melanin. So you might notice a little bit of lightening in skin, but more often than not, this is for wrinkles and not really for hyperpigmentation. Chemical peel is sort of a stronger way of using face acids and needs to be, and this needs to be done very, very carefully because there have been cases where people use this to the extent that it burns off their skin, and it takes a really long time for the skin to grow back, as well as their skin barrier to get formed again. But in effect, it does help a lot with age spots, sun damage, melasma, and sort of blotchiness in your skin because it's literally digesting away the top few layers of your skin. Again, works fantastically well on fairer skin tones ranging from 1 through 3, not so much on 4, 5, 6. Laser peel, excuse me, laser peel is another interesting one where you have ablative and non-ablative. Ablative is basically something that works very well for fair skin types, and these are sort of not as intrusive, not as invasive on your skin. But usually laser peels, again, like retinoids, they are destroying the physical integrity of your skin in a way. So it helps skin by initiating collagen production as opposed to reducing hyperpigmentation, right? So your skin, you'll end up definitely with sort of newer skin because your cells just got destroyed and your skin decided to make more collagen to support it. And so you'll see some good effects there, but for the most part, it's a very invasive process. It's very expensive, and it needs a person with good technical skills to actually pull this off. So there's a higher risk here. Now, IPL therapy is another one that we keep hearing about, which is sort of this ablative laser process. It's fantastic for flat spots. They respond really well to IPL therapy, and you might walk away with clearer skin. Again, works very well on skin tones 1 through 3 for skin discoloration, which could include some redness. It could include blemishes that you may have had because of acne and so on. Now, this one made its rounds some years ago. I think it's still fairly popular, which is a microdermabrasion. Now, we talked about the 3 different layers of skin, where you have the epidermis, you have the hypodermis, the dermis and the hypodermis, right? The epidermis is the topmost layer of the skin. Microdermabrasion basically removes the top superficial layer of your epidermis. Again, works fantastically well for people with fairer skin to help in skin discoloration, not so much with darker skin tones. Dermabrasion is a deeper level of microdermabrasion where you go deeper into the dermis. Now, this is fantastic if you have acne scars that go deep down. It may be there may be sun damage. There may also be some age spots. All of this lightens your skin. Now, mind you, none of this is actually talking to your skin or helping you and helping your skin work for itself to heal, right? In a way, these are all very destructive methods. You're either dissolving things chemically or physically breaking it down. You're not, it's a very invasive process for your skin. When you think about your skin, it's a very, very delicate layer, right? And all of these processes are extremely harsh on your skin, and most of them are not even effective for treating skin discoloration, because skin discoloration, as you saw, has to do with what your body thinks and how it's interacting with the outside environment, whether it is the sun or what you're eating, and whether it is your hormones that are playing a role there. So these are some of the physical and chemical methods that are more commonly talked about. Now, the one that I like for myself, which I've used for a very long time now, are these lightening or brightening creams, which have extracts such as licorice or vitamin B3, which is niacinamide. We, of course, have a lot of products on the market that actually have these. Now, they work on flat spots, they work on melasma, they have on age spots, and they're effective for patches of discoloration on most skin types, right? So it doesn't matter whether you're light skin or dark skin, it works. It works really well, because it's starting to, these actives are starting to go deeper into your skin. They're not destroying your skin. They're working with your skin to help lighten some of that discoloration, or even out some of that discoloration. So lightening creams by far work really well. And the next sort of cutting edge thing that we see coming onto the market now are exosomes. Now, exosomes in this new age of skincare, I believe, is going to be sort of the next best thing. Exosomes are cells that these are communication channels or sort of bubbles, if you will, with a message inside them. Human cells produce them, plant cells produce them, microbial cells produce them. So exosomes are basically what you would use, what plants, humans, microbes all use to communicate with each other. The cells communicate with each other through these exosomes. They carry pockets of information. They might be DNA, they might be RNA, they might be proteins, they might even be chemical molecules that help take that take that signal from one end to the other. Now, this is interesting because it basically is communicating with your cells to reverse damage. This is no longer just a physical or a chemical process. This is actually a biological process. These are biological molecules that are talking to other biological molecules like it was meant to be. They work well with each other. They communicate well with each other. It really enhances your skin tone and your skin healing, because your skin is not trying to fight back. For example, when you think of microdermabrasion or even laser peels, your skin doesn't like it. It's fighting back. It's producing more collagen than it normally does. Maybe it's destroying some of its other cells. It's a very invasive process. But with exosomes, it's a friend, right? It's like, oh, I know you, I recognize you. Let's talk. What have you got for me? And so on. So it's a very happy sort of a process of communication between exosomes and your skin. And what's more, because this is biological, it works on any skin tone. It's a very biologically inclusive molecule. It's not about, oh, this is a lighter skin tone, this is a darker skin tone. No, it just talks to cells without actually creating any differences between them. So in the sort of this cutting edge of skincare, what we are going to see more of are these exosomes. And rightly so. There's a lot of research going on. There has been lots of research going on. On our own company, if you go to our website now, you will see that we're bringing to the market a line of plant-based exosomes that really help address some of the deeper challenges that people have been facing, whether it is with redness and rosacea flare-ups to any kind of inflammation in your skin, including hyperpigmentation. So exosomes are something really cool to work with. And as a scientist, that really excites me a lot. And I'm very happy to bring that over as a product to be able to offer it to people. Now, it's not always easy. So I had a list of things for you. Now, it's not always easy to understand what works and what doesn't, right? And this is where people like us come in, or we come in, right? We help you create these combination strategies where you start to understand what is the order of products that you might need to use. What are the actives that you need to use? So we have something called ampules, where think of each, let me show you. So the ampule is about the size of a little capsule, which encompasses pretty much all of the actives that you might need for that day. So we combine different actives in different colored ampules. So that way by understanding what your skin concerns are, we're able to tailor the regimen for you. So from day through day 28, which is a 4-week program, you go through what is needed for your skin to cycle and get healthy, whatever that concern may be, whether it is redness, whether it is rosacea, whether it is hyperpigmentation or aging. These formulas work because we personalize them to what your skin concern is, including the dose that is needed for you based on your age, based on your nutrition, and so on. Now, we also have a mister that you see here with a silver cap. Now, the mister is basically a device where the ampule can go in and you spray your face with it. Now, when you mist or spray, these actives are broken down into small nano-sized droplets that basically help get deeper into your skin. So while exosomes are great communicators and they will biologically definitely work well with your skin, we like to give it that extra push by using a mister. So that way, one, you have a great experience just misting your face. And as and when you need it, it works through makeup as well. Or you could just use it when you use your morning or evening serum where you mist your face and then you follow that up with our hydrating cream. And with the exosomes, as you read more about on our website, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us and we would be more than happy to talk about it with you. You can also set up a free consulting session with one of us, with our skin experts. And again, happy to talk you through whether it is you're trying to identify what your skin concern actually is, what the root cause of your skin concern may be, or what is the right solution that you will need. So we personalize your entire journey, talking through your skin, your lifestyle, and what is the regimen that is needed for you. Now, we had proposed a protein intake test when we asked people to join us on this webinar. So I'd like to provide the opportunity for you to take this is a QR code, take out your phone, your camera, and scan it so you can actually fill out the form, and one of our team will get back to you with what the next steps are for this particular test. And with that, I'd like to see if there's any questions as we let people take the time to fill out the form. So as we had sent out an email before this to have people share some of their questions, if they had any, with us, we did get a couple of questions that are interesting. One being, with different types of skin tones, how do you know what the dose needs to be, and when do you stop? Right? How do you know that this is the best that you can do? I think it's a tricky question, but also very interesting, right? Wherein there is only so much you can do with your skin. What is important is being cautious about the actives that you apply, and being cautious about what is on the market today and what is working for you versus not. So there are options with respect to, talking to a dermatologist or talking to a biotech experts like us, where you start to understand what is it that is on your skin, what is happening inside your body that makes these discoloration marks on your skin, and how do you go about solving them? What is the right cadence? What is the right actives? And how long do you need to use them for? When do you need to use them for to get the best out of this process? So that was one question that we got. And any other questions, happy to answer. If not, this is the end of our webinar, episode 3. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope to see you next week.